Keisling, and I'm the Executive Director of the National Center for Transgender Equality, and I'm so glad that everybody is here tonight. And I just wanted to quickly welcome you. I know a lot of you have been here for a couple hours, but I wanted to welcome you now. And just say a couple quick words, so don't worry, it's not going to be a long, boring, speechifying moment, because I went on speechify.com to buy a speech, and my credit card, it's a long story. So I couldn't download a speech, so I'm not going to make a speech. I'm just going to really welcome you and just talk about how excited I am that so many people are in Washington, D.C. this weekend. I want to welcome you to our little pile of queer up here in the Logan Circle section of Washington, D.C. As you've probably noticed here, we have something like 8 or 9 LGBT organizations in our building. And a lot of amazing work gets done here. More importantly, however, you guys are coming from all sorts of different places. I know there's some Nevadans and Utahns, and there's some Texans, and there's an Alaskan here. Wow. And that's where the real work is getting done. And let me tell you what is getting done. We are kicking ass. We are winning. We will get equality. I know we can all start to taste it now, but there's a lot of work left to do, and we're doing it together. And that's why everybody's here this weekend, and we have to remember that. We're here to meet people. We're here to eat hummus. We're here to hook up. But we're also really here about our equality, and it's a really deadly serious thing. Some of us who live in D.C. maybe have it a little better than some people who live in some other places. And we get calls all the time from people. We had a call from somebody who lived in northern Alaska above the Arctic Circle in a tiny village and was trying to figure out how to transition or how not to transition. And so we sometimes take the support we have and the activism we have in our big cities for granted, and we have to remember those of us and some of us here who are from rural areas have a different road to hoe. I'm so excited that there's a lot of young people here. Yes, one of the most amazing things that we sometimes forget here is that we're really still at the beginning of the movement. We're getting closer, and we're getting closer, and we're going to win, but we're still at the beginning. Everybody who's participating now, everybody who's here, we're still all volunteers. I see right here a picture of one of my personal heroes, Marsha P. Johnson, who was one of the original Stonewall heroes. Sylvia Rivera credited before she passed away, credited Marsha P. Johnson as being the first Molotov cocktail thrower. So, there's some question as to whether they were really Molotov cocktails or
parking meters,
yeah, pennies, candles, drinks. But there's so much to do. So many of the people like Marsha P. Johnson, who's no longer with us, are our pioneers, but so many of us are still going to be pioneers. And some of the folks here who are here from colleges and here from high schools, they're going to be pioneers too. 200 years from now, when people talk about how we got our equality, how we got our liberation, they're not really going to be able to differentiate between the late 60s and whatever decade this is called. We really are still all pioneers. We're all still doing amazing, amazing work. All over the country, people are doing spectacular, spectacular stuff, whether they're educating their schools, whether they're educating their churches, their workplaces, or just their mom. And that's why we're winning, and we are winning, and we're going to get all this stuff. I can tell you in the next 2 weeks, the president, our newest Nobel Prize winner, I didn't even know he knew about physics. But the president's almost definitely going to be signing the federal hate crimes bill that's going to pass. And it will be the first time ever in the federal law that there's a positive federal law that protects transgender people.
Thank you, Mark.
And really still one of the first times that it protects gay and bisexual people. We now are really at the point where if we do our work, we're going to get some amazing stuff done. We're going to get end to past. We're going to get some domestic partnership benefits for some couples. We're going to repeal Don't Ask, Don't Tell. And we're going to get the whole agenda if we keep doing our work. But nobody's going to give it to us. We have a president who is very, very supportive. He ain't going to give it to us. We have a Congress that is very fair-minded. They are not going to give it to us. They're still going to make us come and get it. We have to come and get it. We've got to do the education. We've got to do the work. And it's all of us. Do not count on the national organizations and the state organizations. It's the people. It's y'all. That's where the power is. All we do is facilitate your power here. So, all y'all. Yeah. So we're so excited to have endorsed the National Equality March, and we're so excited to be participating in a lot of ways. And I just want everybody to go and do the work this weekend. Learn things, do things, and be there, and really, really be there, and go to the things that make sense and where you think you can help and learn. And here's the trick that you need to know. Find some kind of activism that amazes you. Find something that is really cool, that you think, this is something I want to work on, this is something that matters to me, something I want to help on and I want to pitch in on. Because you cannot be amazing unless you are amazed. So don't do the activism other people tell you to do. Do the activism that turns you on, sets you on fire. Because if you're set on fire, you're going to set everybody else on fire. Be amazed, be amazing, kick ass, be at the National Equality March. I know I'm going. And here's a couple little tiny things that I would like you to think about while you're doing the big picture thing. Seriously, see one of these cards. They tell you to call your member of Congress. We're still going into congressional offices and they're telling us they're hearing from thousands of people who are against the Employment Non-Discrimination Act and a handful of people who are for it. Call them up, let them know. On the back there's a number for the switchboard. 202-224-3121.
You can call them tonight.
You can call them tonight, and they will connect you with the message for your member of Congress, your member of the House, and your senators, unless you live in the District of Columbia where you don't get senators.
We suggest don't call when you're drunk, but just a suggestion.
Do not drunk call your senator.
Call either way.
Yeah.
Call either way.
Call either way. There's some wonderful events, and I just want to highlight some wonderful events, and you all know where to find them in the directory and on the website. But tomorrow morning at 9, Mel Goodwin from Vegas is hosting Trans Caucus. Is that the right way to say it? At Gallaudet University, which by the way is a beautiful campus if you haven't seen it, at 9 a.m. from 9 to 11. At noon at a church, St. Michael's, St. Peter's, I forget, was it a taffy pulling contest at St. Peter's, or was it a St. Taffy, I forget. But at 6th and U, the task force, along with 16th, I'm sorry.
36 U Street.
U Street.
Center, I believe it's the Center for Community Change.
Thank you, people who are more interested in details than I. Thank you. So it's about and then how to get end to past. Then at Justin, 6 o'clock. We have a trans town hall meeting at Georgetown School of Law, which, just as a tip, is not on the Georgetown campus and it is not in the Georgetown neighborhood. It's down by Union Station. But it's the Georgetown School of Law. It's a pretty building on New Jersey Avenue. That neighborhood is why New Jersey is called the Garden State. So come to those things, and then on Sunday, go to the Equality March and be seen. It's really, really important. It's important that we are there together. It's important that we're there for the new people who've never been out before. And it's just important that we're there. It's important that there be more of us than there were teabaggers. And I know there's quite a lot of teabaggers among us this weekend. The real teabaggers. But be here and do the work and be amazing and be with people.